the first thing that brings me to Cannes is that they let us come back again. So it's such an important event for our industry. My first time here was back in the 1990s when we were, my first company, Real Media, were some of the first digital people to come. I think it's an important way to place to come together, way for our industry to go forward. Explicitly, the thing that brings me to Cannes this year is the entire television industry is changing, and this has been coming for 20 or 25 years, and finally we're seeing streaming and linear TV and gaming and other video coming together, and those discussions are happening here, and I like that it's anchored in the creative conversation.
So you've spoken a lot in the past about CTV and about the future of measurement and about gaming. You think this moment has really arrived in Cannes this year? These are now topics for the front and center for everybody.
There's no question that this year in Cannes, the intersection, conversion, crossover of television, connected TV, CTV, streaming, ad-supported video on demand, TV ads and connected TV and gaming are happening. I was just talking to someone about ads in Ubers and Lyfts, like primary screens, high engagement, entertainment. And it's happening because we're finally seeing the linear audiences degrade at a level that really matters. We're seeing a lot of conversation around measurement. I was just talking to Kelly from NBCU about all the work they're doing with Linda Yaccarino and Krishan Bhatia to bring in new measurement standards. So, this is a moment, quite frankly, I've been in this business for 30 years. This was the moment we thought might have happened 10 or 15 years ago, but it's happening in 2022. Are the big agency groups on top of these changes? No way. I mean, let's be clear, I think it's hard to do what they do with tens and thousands of employees and clients that are squeezing them for fees and focusing on efficiency, but they're not places of innovation, they're places of efficiency. I think that they, as entities, I mean, whether it's Mark Reed, whether it's John Wren, whether it's the folks over at IPG, Publicis, they all desire to move it forward in a place of innovation, but it's not happening there. And that's why you saw Publicis just buy Profitero. You've seen Mark Reed do a lot of transformation since taking over from Martin Sorrell. The holding companies are going to have to change a lot. They're not going away, but the innovation is not happening there.
So you've spoken a lot in the past about gaming as an under-advertised or under-optimized medium for advertisers. What's the potential of gaming as an ad-funded medium? Why is it exciting in your view?
Well, it's exciting for a few reasons, and I first go back to what I'll call is if you're a marketer or an advertiser, you want to reach the full demo stack, watching and interacting and engaging with premium video. And if you're looking for people that are largely over 40, you're going to find them on linear TV. If you're looking people from their 30s to their 50s, you're going to find them, and particularly higher income, predominantly on connected TV and streaming. If they're under 35, they're not on either of those. Except for sports and a few other events, they're gaming. And the mobile gaming world has proven out the acceptance of an advertising model, but it's a pretty crappy model. It's click to download, sort of direct response ads. But we're starting to see in the PC and console games the adoption, and particularly in the free-to-play games, of permissioned opt-in ads that are skippable but that are tied into the reward points of the game. So people playing these games can play to earn points, they can pay to earn points in microtransactions, and now they can watch to earn points. I think that's going to be a big model. I think we're going to see deeper transactions, and I think we're going to see that model go across all primary screen video. I think we're going to see it in cinema advertising. I'm very bullish on that as people start going back to the cinema. I think we're going to see it in advertising in cars. I think that as we see more autonomous vehicles, let's say 5 years from now, probably 30–40% of the driving time will be autonomous. That's going to be very entertainment driven. I think this is the time the industry actually has to, we're facing macroeconomic headwinds that are really extraordinary. We have a war going on in Europe that has not, of a scale that we've not seen since the 1940s. We're seeing climate issues challenging the earth that are really, really existential. Our industry has always lived on its own edge and has lived in its own bubble. And And I would love to see a true alignment around truly delivering value for the client and, quite frankly, not having a pay-to-play world. I mean, we have a world that is so much about one takes care of the other, and that makes the media business work. And we forget the fact that without ad-supported media, you cannot have an independent news and journalism organization. You cannot have independent entertainment. And for anyone that has grown up in countries and nation states that are not liberal democracies, they don't understand what they're missing. And doing it right matters. And so I would hope this is a time that we not only advance our craft, but we recognize the importance that we play in the world.